All right, there we go. There we go. Live once again. Um, what am I doing? I am hitting you first with the clickbait, with the with the cool thing, and then I am going into my warm-up document. My warm-up document in which we will just be drawing figures for a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Hit us with some drawings here. Yep. Figures. Maybe brighten the paper a little bit. Higher contrast on screen, more views. That's how it works. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. Friday, huh? Friday times the weekend times almost. I've had a randomly pretty good week, and I haven't been able to place it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really. Well, I have a couple guesses, but the week's kind of randomly been better than it had any business being. You know how if you're feeling like a little bit down, regardless of if you're doing nice things, everything just feels a little bit more sucky. Like I've been doing nice things, but I'm having the opposite experience. I've been doing nice things, but it seems like I've had a nicer time than those things would warrant. Which this is not a complaint. Please don't take this as. I'm just positively surprised. Awesome sauce. Let's see if we can't get a little bit looser, a little bit more gestural with these. I think my drawings were a little tight yesterday. Or what do you say? Stiff, stiff. How you say? How you say a little stiff? Ces drawings. Ouais. Alrighty. And another one. No timers on these ones today. Literally just drawing till I want to move on to the next one. Just want to warm up a little bit. Laughing at myself and how much I flip the canvas. There's no reason to flip the canvas that much. But on the plus side, I'll never have that situation where the drawing looks wonky exclusively because I've been looking at it from a funky angle, well, from the same angle all the time. Like, I always have an idea of what my drawing looks like flipped. Now I want to be a little bit intentional with these clavicles, these shoulders. That is an interesting interaction. Like, because this lady is really skinny, you can actually see, like, really see that infraclavicular fossa, the gap between the deltoid and the pectoral. And the sort of wedging of the pectoral into the arm. I don't know, it just looks cool. This is that I Don't Feel So Good song. My, what was that? Number 4 most therapeutic song from yesterday, from the tier list yesterday. Okay, and this lady is holding a big bowl metal orb. Very good for the sci-fi feels. Okay, let's yeah, that's all right. Can never hurt to practice your circles. It's funny how both these songs that we've just listened to, this one and the Rob Tantrum, I Don't Feel So Good, both of those songs I discovered through Harmontown. That one, almost at this point, guilty pleasure podcast that I listen to. And it's been a while too. Mostly I'm doing blank check these days. That's a good podcast too. And then all we need to do is like tweak the balance a little bit because she's like falling. And I think we can lift the head a little bit. Cool. Looks fine to me. Man, I'd like to do more like artist studies of gestures I like. They're a little bit trickier for me to stream, I think, because I generally want to, or don't want to give the impression, like if you're drawing a study, you want to make it very clear that you're doing a study of an artist, right? And that it's not like your own work. And I think even though I can do my like studies disclaimer, which I've done a couple times, not everybody will know what that means. It's a little tricky with social media and with streaming to make completely 100% sure that everybody understands that, oh, I'm doing a study right now. Like right now, I just have reference off to the side, photo reference, right? Not artist reference. And even that, I'm not communicating very well, other than I'm saying it once in a while. But if I were doing like artist studies, I would want everybody to know, like the moment they enter the stream, he's doing an artist study. Okay. And I have like, where's my studies disclaimer? I have that one, but I don't think just putting studies on the screen necessarily, tells everybody immediately. Oh, these are referenced from other artists. Anyway, I'd like to do that some more just because I think I learn a lot from copying artists I admire. It's like a really solid exercise for me, I think. One of the best ways for me to get in their brain, right? Try and figure out how they think. I think we could grow that hand a little bit. Oop. Oh, this is a nice gesture. Catch how that ear there just shows a so much twist. Like ribcage very clearly twisting completely the other way. And then just this one ear here, as well as the fact that this line looks to be in a different perspective. And all of a sudden you've communicated such an effective twist. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want, you can let that be a lesson in how powerful the ear is in placing, rotating the head. Would I say gesture is intuitive but informed? Something I do without thinking about it? No. Not for me. Not for me. To me, and this is why I personally don't vibe really well with 30-second gestures. To me, gesture is a very intentional, purposefully thought out thing. So this one is referenced, obviously, but I guess this intuitively feels like a good gesture, but the reason I understand it to be a good gesture is because it has a lot of contrast in twist and angles of different important parts of the body, right? You have the pelvis with this tilt. You have the rib cage up here at a different angle. Let's see, it's actually curving a little bit this way, so this is wrong. Give me a second. I have a point. I'll get there. I'll get back to you. Like, this gesture intuitively feels good to me, but I understand it to be good because there's this back and forth, both graphically, two-dimensionally, curve, curve, counter curve, counter curve. And also there's this contrast in the angles, right? There's contrapposto in this pose. Ribcage is tilted even more, I think. And when I draw gestures, when I invent gestures, this is the type of stuff I'll be thinking about. I'll be actively thinking, oh, ribcage opposes pelvis, curve, counter curve, curve. Maybe I then make the head oppose that movement as well. You get that back and forth, you get that bounce. I'll be thinking about including some twist, if I can, into the form. When I do gesture, I think it's a very, very conscious effort, very intentional set of decisions that I make. There's some amount of muscle memory, like, okay, sure, the way I do legs, it's calculated and intentional in the sense that I've learned a specific system. But if I'm doing like a quick gesture, a lot of the marks that I put down for legs might be sort of muscle memory. But they're based in me having observed legs like this once and gone, that's an appealing gesture because this system of legs has an appealing curve, counter curve. Approach to it. Your mileage may vary. I'm like a very analytical artist. Not every artist I know is. A lot of skilled artists I know are. But to me, gesture is a very intentional thing. It's a very cognizant effort. I've seen both approaches work. You just ask this guy, and I only have success if I'm very like aware, like with my gestures, if I'm very aware of what I'm doing, instead of like letting it flow. Long answer, but there you go. And that bit of advice, I'm not confident saying like, oh, this is, and I never really do. I try to, as much as possible, go, this is my way of doing things. This is a way of doing things. Hope that makes sense. Also, hello, hi, new chatter I noticed. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Oh, that was fine. Anyway, I think we can go to the next drawing. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. Um, I definitely think that if you just do muscle memory and you aren't making any new observations, right? Kind of stands to reason that you won't be improving as much because you would just be doing like simulacrums of the same drawing over and over. But I think you can definitely rely on like a basis of muscle memory and then, for example, go, oh, I've never noticed that it's not just the 2D graphical contrapposto that I want, but I also want a 3D contrapposto back and forth in space. Like that's another reason why this pose works really well, right? It's because like the butt, the pelvis area comes out a lot, and then rib cage curves in, like the small of her back curves in, and then the rib cage again is like so it's like convex, concave, convex. So there's a 3D float, and for example, you'll make that observation, and then you'll start to try and incorporate that in the next gestures, on top of your base of muscle memory. And then I think you should still see plenty of improvement. Part of it's also just I haven't had like good experiences with just relying on muscle memory. Typically, my drawings don't turn out very well if I just feel like I'm autopiloting it. Alrighty. We're actually 30 minutes in. One more. Let's do one more drawing, one more gesture, and then try and get into the character design of it all. I have a thing or two I'd like to produce this morning, so we can't just go in circles forever on the figures, as much as I do enjoy that. Huh. I guess. Obviously, something's off about this torso. Let's just readdress that. I know that I'm pushing the hips a lot. Maybe it is too much. Maybe we should do this. Kind of like that. We have a little bit of a packed schedule today in terms of, well, I have. The stream isn't going to be that packed. We're going to do like a daily character design challenge, maybe some stuff on the dystopian world building project, and then that's kind of it. But I also have a bit of like a work deadline, and I need to do a family birthday present as well today, which is for me, those are always drawings. Uh, nah. Really liking these line of action super foreshortened references. Very much my style. Very much the exact type of shit that I enjoy drawing and geeking out about. Very nice. He works at Mr. Cacciatore's down on Sullivan Street. Let's see here. I moves further out, I think. Not that much, no. It's okay. Kind of fucked that one up, but that's what happens. Sure. Closer at least. Actually, let's... No, wait. Give me a second. I don't want to get too derailed. Okay, now we leave it. Now we leave it. Now we've tried our best for a little while. Now we can move on. It is a warm-up figure drawing after all. I think I said mess up. I think I said I messed it up. And what about it? Right, right. You're your own worst critic, right? But you're also kind of okay. This might be a hot take. You're your own worst critic. You're also kind of your own best critic if you train it, at least. If like you work on it. I don't think only I would notice the mistakes, but I think because you're aware of your shortcomings, sometimes you're a little better at picking up on those shortcomings than other people. And you got to be careful with this because sometimes you really are just inventing shit that you're inventing problems that are not there. But if say I know that I have trouble drawing shoulder girdles, sometimes it'll be easier for me to pick up on mistakes in the shoulder girdles of my drawings because I'm already looking for it. I don't know. I guess all that take really means is that you can practice self-critique, because I think that's a powerful method of learning is critiquing your own drawings. You just do have to be careful and make sure that like get some outside perspective once in a while as well, I think is a good idea. In addition to your self-critique. Because other people might pick up on more important mistakes, like more overarching mistakes that you kind of lose because you're so used to them. Or yeah, they might point out that the mistakes you're seeing aren't as important as they seem. So the non-artist is all magic. Yeah. I think, well, yeah. Yeah. The human eye and human psyche, I think, is really used to what people look like, right? So I think people are quite able to tell when something in your drawing is off. I think it does jump out to most people. The difference is, well, a key difference is that those non-artists don't have as high standards for drawings as I do. So they'll be thinking shit like, oh, obviously it doesn't look like a real person, but it's a really good drawing. Unless it's an issue of fundamentals. Well, what I messed up was an issue of fundamentals. Most drawing issues are issues of fundamentals. Okay, let's move on. We're not here to draw here for 30 minutes. That's a warm up. Spend a little bit more time on that than I wanted to. Now we do daily object character. Concept core daily object character. Let's see what the object is today. Where am I trying to go? I'm trying to go to Discord. That's fun. Okay, what's the new... Wait, has it not dropped yet? Oh no, it might not have dropped yet. I might be too early. That's bad. That's not what we want. They drop in 9 minutes. It should drop. Okay, so we're good. Actually, we wasted no time. This was a perfectly coordinated warm-up effort, and we have time for one more figure drawing. I don't know. I think it's super duper fair to be critical of your weaknesses and shortcomings as an artist. As long as you try to be realistic about it, I think that's a solid way of improving. Is knowing what you're worse at and then about something along the lines of self-critique and being critical of your mistakes and knowing about your shortcomings and targetedly practicing that. And I've only read the start of the article, but it starts like, for the longest time, my relationship to art was that I would be very critical of my own shortcomings and targetedly practice my weaknesses. But it kind of had like a but then vibe to it. It feels like the next part, like the teaser for the Substack article was that, but it had the vibe of but then I learned, then I grew as a person. So I'm a little bit interested to to actually read that and see what he's going to say about that. because that's where I stand at the moment too. Can I make space for just like one more drawing? Banger song. Awesome, amazing banger song. You fuck with Genesis Wusu? Because I fuck with Genesis Wusu. You've added a few to the playlist? Sick. How did you find them? This is Genesis Owusu smiling with no teeth. I guess a lot of songs tend to say the title at some point. What can I think we can do a little bit more of an S curve to this. New but fresh. New but fresh? Okay, this one's interesting. You can clearly tell the pectorals here. And then a little bit further down, you have the breast with its own gesture. Genre's new to you. Oh, what do you usually listen to? I'm a big rap R&B guy. Typically. Typically. Though I'd say somewhat versatile as well, you know. I can jam to a bunch of music, but typically what I do jam to is rap and R&B. Uh, uh, uh. Yeah, that looks decent. And then arm. Give me arm. Yeah, this is like a really nice subtle gesture. We've still got like a clear S curve to it, but it's not like this in your face, you know? This in your face. That's nice too. Typically, I don't really have a lot of patience for subtlety. And even when I do it, I tend to exaggerate. Mostly just soundtracks, video games, shows. I see. That's good too. The Hades 1 soundtrack is like really, really good. That's probably one of my favorite soundtracks. Secret of Mana, I've never played, but the soundtrack goes hard. Um, and then great friend of mine always or often listens to the Super Mario Galaxy soundtrack. Come to enjoy that. I can be a soundtrackler. Ghibli soundtracks, obviously really good. Almost always. Okay, I'm liking this drawing a little bit. We're gonna spend a little bit of time with it. This is also just like a face angle that I really enjoy. Man, I used to avoid tangents in constructing faces. That's a really bad idea. So if like the nose would tangent the side of the face, I would just shrink it until it didn't. That's definitely a way to get faces that just don't work in 3D. Special Force by Nitro Microphone Underground. Sounds like... Yeah, what does that sound like? A Gundam or something? Like a JoJo stance? Stand. I guess that would make sense. They are named after rock songs and bands. Japanese hip hop. Okay. Nitro Microphone Underground. That's so fun. That's like how the what's that prequel? It's not a prequel. The first installment of the Rocket League franchise was supersonic acrobatic rocket powered battle cars. Yeah, that's a reasonably a reasonably enjoyable drawing. I don't know, man. This guy's got bars. Everybody knows he threw with the big day, but he's got bars. He's back. Cool. Now, potentially, maybe the reference has dropped like clockwork. 9 o'clock. Okay, cool. Um, let's go. It's a lychee. It's a lychee today. I do believe that's a lychee. Alrighty, let's free associate. Okay. Lower the table and lock in time. We're okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the obvious like warrior character with the shell as the armor, and then we're just gonna try and do it appealingly. Try and do it well. Um yeah. Let's get in here and do some shapes. You have to go. All right. Oh man, you're not gonna. I queued your song. Oh well. Come back another time. I'll tell you what I thought of it. Have a good one. So here's one version. Oh, you know. Hmm. I'm starting to enjoy like long hair as like a silhouette shape accent. Sometimes. So I just want to try it out for this one. Definitely works without it too. Oh, same layer. There's one version. I don't think this is what we're gonna go with. I want more of that feeling of like a shell. Sometimes what's fun is like having like a You could have like a character in some state of suspended animation, like in hibernation in here. And then it's just like their consciousness powers the shell around them. We could even do like make it like an actual mech and just make it lychee coated. That could be fun. And then what if they're like literally suspended inside the shell? Then we just need to figure out like a mech design that's fun. Okay. You know, I like that general idea. Actually better than the other guys. We're not gonna do that. But I think the mech is boring. I think the pose for the mech is boring. For that, we have remedies. The remedy is this Fuel Stains art book. And you just kind of look at it and like rip a thing or two, and then you win, I think, with mechs. Like, for example, you can do some legs with more joints. And add a little bit of perspective. I think that's a little bit. We want a little bit of perspective. This might be the rest of the stream. We're going a little bit ambitious. I think we can move that horizon line up a little bit. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then it's gotta have like some sort of like weaponry, right? Cool, cool. I don't know. I feel like you could mount more guns down here. Or like something. I don't know, man. Just have them on the legs. That's something you could do. Something like something like that. Feels reasonably fun. I want. I think I want it in the silhouette of the mech as well. Like it's cool that her hair is like the hairs of the lychee shell. I want it reflected in the mech too. How we doing on balance? Not too good, I think. I think we're falling backwards quite heavily right now. Um, Now, solutions involve like a third leg, like a tripod, or two more legs. That feels a little bit cool. You know what I'd really like though is for the fourth leg there to just be included in the silhouette, if at all possible. And then guns, guns. Okay, okay. The song goes pretty hard by Nitro Super Acrobatic Rocket Powered Nitro Microphone Underground. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. We might have to scrap the guns on the legs. I'm not sure. We'll see how it feels in silhouette. And then these guns here. Need to feel like lasers or something. Need to feel like something that is reusable and doesn't require ammo, I think. I'd like that. And then I'd like probably some lamps on here. On the front. Some lights. And access. I think you climb up like one of the legs probably. And you access it through the bottom. I guess that's maybe a little bit more than a character. Okay. Silhouette check. Silhouette check. I think it's likely gonna feel decent, but you know. Always good to actually check the silhouette. This is very likely way too ambitious for an hour and a half, but we'll see. I'm not afraid to try. Man, I love when mech designs have some like organic shapes to them. Uh, yeah. What if we bring the back legs forward just a little bit? Break my perspective grid because I drew it all on the same layer. Best viewers on stream, boo. Thank you, thank you. Just what I needed to hear. Could, okay. Give me a second. Yeah, I like that. Considering that. And how are we looking? I kind of want these cannons out further. Want a bigger negative space there. Right? What the hell is this? I don't know. It's the one ref character design challenge, and then I just felt like a mech today. I'm doing the concept core stuff. Yeah, I just started. Because you know the first 2 months it was like, oh, they're doing environments. They're doing planars. I'm not a planar guy. Then it was like, well, they're doing movie studies. I'm not a movie study kind of guy. Now they're doing characters, and I don't have that excuse anymore. So now we're just going. I don't like the cannon design. I think the cannon design could be more fun. Are you doing the concept core stuff, Jay? I'm kind of assuming no time. I'm kind of assuming, nah, busy. Yeah. That's what I would assume. I'm fortunate I don't have too many of those yet. Only a couple, so I have time to do whack shit like this. Um, I always like this challenge as well, like the one reference design. It just always feels really good for like free association. Um, Generating ideas I wouldn't have otherwise. Because I get really focused on like trying to repurpose what is there instead of going and looking for like a different reference or whatever. Something like that. I think could be cool. What the hell is this? Yeah, we'll see. We gotta move fast, man. Okay. But that's kind of the plan. Um, I don't think I have time for like perfect perspective. But we do have time for better perspective than this. Yep. Goal for this line pass is kind of good enough to be presentable, but not perfect. Let's keep that in mind. Line placement is more important than line quality for this one. Yeah. And this is actually a little bit above the horizon line. Yeah. Yep, we'll buy it. Time alone with you. Okay. And then steal some shape language for the greebling. Find somebody who does that appealingly. Then just grab that. This song might be the only song in which I've ever heard the word Starbright used. Hey Saad, how you doing? Oh my. What's good? What's good? We're gonna have to freestyle a lot of the industrial design for this one if we want to get it done in time. Good to hear, good to hear. Like ideally I just have the rest of the stream for this design. Just do some gesture thinks and you're into my stream. Sounds good, probably. I don't even know what gesture thinks are. Drawing some dynamic poses. That's like my favorite thing. Hey Alvin, how you doing? How you doing? What is good? What's up the ceiling? Duh. What's good, charity? Going climbing in 30. Oh man, wish it were me. Well, not really. I'm having a good time. But it sounds dope. There might be a fair amount of just locking in time on this stream. Because time sure is limited, man. I'd like a bevel on this edge, thank you. I don't even know what our timeline should be like. Maybe like 10:30. We need to have this lined, probably. And then 30 minutes for just like coloring and finish. I think that sounds good. And that's gonna be so easy. There's like barely anything in this design that we need to draw. Well, as long as we just keep like hand waving the greebling, we might be fine. What's the climbing session plan? I'm gonna be crimping hard, Dynamic, slab. What are we looking at? What are we training today? Recently, I've been practicing strength-based static climbing. Because a guy, there's this one of my friends climbs at my local gym, is really really strong in that specifically, and he's kind of one of the best climbers I know. So it seems like that's a good idea to practice. Okay, we've been doing this for the limbs, so let's keep doing that for the limbs. Like a ball and socket joint. And then we try to go a little bit more organic for this one, if we can. I like the ellipse for the joint. Favorite genre of music? I'm a rap boy. I'm a rap kind of guy. That is my jam. Big into Jid, Kendrick, Anderson .Paak, Doja Cat's rap I really like. Open Mike Eagle, one of my favorites. Did we just run out of music? I think we might have. Yeah, so then we move on to just something else. I'm also big on R&B. That would be a close second in terms of like favorite genres of music. It's rap and R&B. What about rock or metal? Less so. A couple of my friends, my roommate in particular, listens to a lot of metal recently. So I'm hearing more of it than usual. It's not something I put on for myself if I'm just like jamming, hanging out, vibing. Who doesn't love rock? Oh, rock's I okay. I guess I don't love it. I like it, don't love it. Like it, don't love it. Yeah, yeah. I think that's fair to say. Not bad, not bad. If you're all about lining coffers. It's just what you were brought up with, right? Or what you, yeah, what you came up listening to. And in my local climbing gym, where I did spend a lot of time as a kid, all my free time essentially, most of my free time, they were big on rap. They were big on rap. Danish. Okay. Yeah, same thing. Don't worry about it. Could I suggest to you a Danish band or musician that you could listen to? I don't fuck with Danish music too much. Shit, let me think. I really don't listen to it very much. I wouldn't even really know if any of it were good. I guess I'm very Americanized that way. By far, the majority of the music I listen to is American. Wanna be. Okay, 30 minutes to do the lines. This is doable, it's possible. Probably do have to move a little faster still. Oh, I appreciate the gesture, and I do really like exchanging music tastes. I don't think I'm gonna get around to listening to it, to be honest. And okay, let's see. That would be this here. Something like that. Like do an active break in the form to suggest that it's changing angle from the straight up and down. Adamlar. All right, thanks. Yes. Lock in. Get it done. Okay. This is definitely like the biggest mech challenge I've ever given myself, is drawing this in the amount of time that we have available. And what did we do? We went something to grip onto that, and then we went straight down for a little bit. Grasping. Oh, thank you so much. I'm not super big on mechs, but I guess I do them once in a while. That's okay. We're also rushing this one a bit more. Oh, thanks for following. What was it? Damyul-san? It's sometimes hard to read with my the little window I have for the stream. And we reached our follower goal. Holy shit, the sound effects, guys. I still don't know how I feel about those. If they're like a net good. I like mechs just fine. They're not my big thing, I'd say. Do a ball joint in here, like a secret ball joint, and then on that ball joint, let's do like some. I like the tubes for feet strategy for mechs. Do I think it can improve some skills drawing mechs? Yeah, for sure. It'll improve your mech drawing skills. I also, sorry, that's. I also think it'll improve your like perspective, form, like it's kind of like drawing like mannequinized figures, right? So you draw your boxes, you draw your forms in perspective. It's definitely good for that. Definitely good for that. How do we do this? Twist. Guess we can do it like that. All right. Down, in, twist the form, and angle to the foot proper. I mean, it's definitely really good for like training your sense of little changes in the angles of forms as well, little changes in the angles of objects, which is also quite necessary if you want to draw figures, I think. Just figures that look good. You want to be able to tell like little differences between, is the cylinder facing like this way, or is it facing more towards me? Is it facing more away from me? You want to be able to rotate form like that very intentionally. And that's if you're drawing mechs, or it's if you're drawing figures that are like properly constructed, I think. And I think mechs are probably, they force you to think like that. If you're just drawing figures, you have to do it the hard way to train that skill. And it's easy to fall into not doing it the hard way, right? It's easy to just fall into doing it the way that you already know. But with mechs, you kind of have to do it that way. You have to be very intentional about rotating forms in space. Or it's just not going to look like a mech. It's just not going to be and feel like it's in perspective, which is just like very in your face when it comes to drawing mechs, right? Guess that's the big difference. It's 20 minutes for the lines, and I also have to draw a character here. It's not just a mech. Maybe we'll see about the guns that I wanted. Maybe we'll make a stretch goal out of that. What do we have? We have half of the drawing. We're definitely only going to get flats on this one. But that's cool. That's how I prefer to present my characters anyway. It's more efficient. Than rendering all the time. And let's make the decision not to make these spikes symmetrical. Let's make that decision right now. That's going to save us some time. For sure. For sure. So polite too. And if we're doing literally just a sphere, you know we're going to be doing that with a, with a sphere tool. And the quickest, most hand-wavy cannon design ever been drawn in the history of the universe. Yep. We're in the. This is all the commentary today. Is how much I'm trying to rush this. In the business of making fast decisions. Right now. Oh, I forgot. We're supposed to cut this corner. Yes, I'm gonna color this, but I will just be doing flats. No rendering. No significant rendering to speak of. That's actually way better than what we did over here. Let's just correct that then. All right. Okay, sure. Let's make these pseudo-symmetrical anyway. Yep. And next guy. See you later. See you another time. Have a good weekend. And a nice day. We're doing tubes for feet strat. This is very heavily inspired by Nikolai Georgiev. However you pronounce that name. He's also known as Fuel Stains on social media. Been looking at his stuff a lot recently. So my mechs are very informed by his mechs. Although I'd say not nearly there yet in terms of appeal and like design coherence and making sense and oh well. So trying to do an hour. Today I'm stretching it a lot. Yeah. But I think it'll be like if I can do it in an hour, I can fit it into what is a little bit of a busy day already. And of course, if I do them on stream, they're not gonna take any time that I'm not already spending on non contract stuff. So maybe that's a strat. I just also have other design stuff that I'd like to work on stream. Yeah, but I think an hour is a good mark where I can knock out something and still have time for the other stuff I need to do. Today we're stretching a little bit. I knew it was ambitious when I started, but I liked the idea enough that I wanted to do it regardless. So, you know, here we are. I think it's been about an hour for this one so far. No, it's been an hour and 14 minutes. I saw, Jay, that you'd been doing some similar, like 1 hour characters for a little while on your social media. Really enjoyed those. They were all super nice. IDTS. I'm lost. Don't remember the last time you posted? No, it's probably been a while. You just, I guess you get busy. It's internet slang, meaning I don't think so. Oh, you didn't like them? Or you don't think you did 1 hour designs? Huh. Well, fair enough. Could have sworn. Maybe they weren't 1 hour. It's less a design thing and more process demonstration. I'm probably talking about those, yeah. This was in April. I was talking about these guys. I don't know how many of those you did. There were a couple of them at least, and then some like designs from object as well. Okay, so now we're kind of like officially over time. Not for the stream, but for what I wanted to do. Right. So when you're saying they're more process demonstration than design demonstrations, you're saying it's more like, oh, sketch, flats, shadows. It's it's more like that shit. And then I add the highlights, and then I add the ambient occlusion. Right. Well, anyway, I thought the designs were really nice too for those. Even if they were just process demonstrations. And then this one actually goes in quite a lot. Huh. We could also make it not do that. Just make the design easier to draw. Yep. Going very spur of the moment design-wise here. This is that type of shit where it's more like, it's definitely more of a drawing than a design, right? I heard Peter Hahn talk about that once. Where he was like, oh, the direct form drawings I do here, those aren't designs, those are drawings. And then if you refine them, if you actually take the time to figure out nuances of a design, it becomes a design. Until then, he was like, we're talking about drawings here. And I still need to draw the figure in the center, huh? Alright, Ski Mask the Slump God. I had a phase. Hey! I'm sorry, I can't take that seriously right now. Yep, okay, that's all, that's all. That we have time for. Alrighty. Certainly feels a bit clunky. I just want there to be like some way to access the mech. That's all. All right. And 20 minutes left. This is definitely the cheapest way to try and get away with this pose, is just go like, Well, it's sort of like it's like a fetal position. It's like a primordial baby sort of vibe is the thing. So the body is actually a little bit soft, and I don't have to nail the anatomy. Yes, we found the cope. Yep, just like that. And now, yeah, well, what? Um, like a helmet that's clearly powering the entire thing. Cool. And then like a mess of like organic pseudo wires here. This is definitely the only reasonable character design to do from this object. No, but that's part of what's so fun about this exercise as well. Especially in this way where it's like a challenge that a lot of people are taking on. Is you get to see into the depths of the other artists' minds. Oh, you saw that in that reference, huh? Yep. Yep, I did. Yeah, that's probably good enough. We need an arm over here. Did we do it? Did we do it? Kind of. Um, something. Oh, man, I really wanted to just get that like CNC milled feeling to these panels here. And by I really want it, I guess I mean, and I'm gonna spend the time to get it. This is actually like a decent Danish song. We were talking about good Danish music earlier. This one I actually like. They're just a little rare. Do a little bit of line weight enhancement. Just to an extent where I want you to be able to tell what's in front, what's behind. Oh, I forgot about the lights. I wanted lights. Well, yeah, I think that's one of the ones we're gonna scrap. Like I wanted a, what's that called? Submarine kind of lights on the front of the machinery. That one probably not going to happen at this time. Well, good news for for viewers of the stream. We're gonna go over time today. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and then the bigger one. And a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a big boy. All right. I think that's the drawing. I think that's the drawing. So that's almost 2 hours gets me that. Almost 2 hours of locking in. Hey, good to know. I did no, because they dropped the reference at for me 9 a.m. and it's 11 a.m. for me now. So I'm hitting 3 hours on stream, but I warm up for like an hour or so at the beginning. I guess you could count that. Like an hour of figure warm up. And then this. Definitely will try to rein in ambitions for the other characters. If I'm to do this as a daily challenge, this is way too time intensive. But yes, this is 3 hours of morning streaming. I wanted that same feeling of yeah, that's not gonna do it. Wanted that same CNC milled idea here. Cool. And then just flats. I don't think the colors are going to be very appealing. Because I'm literally just going to... do slightly adjusted versions of the lychee. Cool. You're a gap. 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 I think that's all of that. And then classically like a metal accent, like a metal. Goals for the coloring. We want. It's mainly about breaking up the red. I'm fine with having like a primary color, but I don't want it to be the only color. And then a little bit of weathering and a little bit of contrast between the surface of the mech and the red tubes in the middle powering it. I think that would be nice. It's a little bit crab-like. That's funny. The last mech I drew was a crab mech too, for a different community event, different community challenge. Oh, also I need to get the green in there, obviously. Whoops. Cool. I think we need some yellow in the top somehow. Yellow accent there, yellow accent there. Probably want yellow to be secondary and metal to be tertiary. Just because we have that huge yellow mass in the middle, gonna be easier to make yellow the medium and metal the small. So where do we put the yellow? We can put it on this bit. We can put it joint inside here. Cool, and then the green. That's gonna be like a paint job thing. Yep. And I wanted weathering. And the rap god. And a little bit of glow to that thing in the center. It is supposed to look like it's powering the mech after all. And then I feel like if I want that to look like it's powering the mech, I need to try and find some other locations where I can put that glow. We're so close. We're almost done. All right. And I think that is going to do it. Okay. One last thing. Is the drop shadow. We're going to do the drop shadow and then we're done. Awesome sauce. Well, that is my time. That is my time. 24 minutes over. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging out. See you in the next one. Until then, have a good one. Goodbye.